Hi, I'm James from Bay Area Family Canine Training. Thank you for joining us today. Last week, we talked a little bit about pack mentality and how it relates to you and your dog. This week, or I should say in a later video, we're going to talk about how big dogs and small dogs, what's the difference? Is there any difference in their culture? And things like that. This week, we're going to talk about alpha dog versus parenting or a good boss, right? What does alpha dog mean? What's this whole word? And you know, a lot of people have heard it, and some people like it, some people don't. Some people think they need to be an alpha dog, and some people don't. So we're going to explain a little bit about that. As we talked about last week, we talked about every time someone leaves or enters the room, the pack order changes. So in our H12-11 system, it's a unique system, and it teaches you to be the good parent through a combination of things, but mostly through communication and the way your dog learns naturally, right? So, alpha dog versus good parent and good boss. Mecca, can you please come here? This is my daughter, Mecca, and she's 5 years old. How old are you? 5 years old. Yeah, this is one of our clients' dog. Her name is Sophie. So how to be a good parent to your dog is just like the same thing as being a good parent to your kid, right? Just like I'm a leader for her, you need to be a leader for your dog as well, right? So how do you become a leader, right? Is leader the same thing as alpha dog, right? Well, just like with her, I can't yell at her and say, you know, do this and that. If she doesn't understand what I'm saying, right? She doesn't understand, I'm not getting anywhere, right? I'm not just gonna yell at her, and I need to build her up. I need to get confidence in her. I need to reinforce her positively and let her know the good things that she's doing, right? And she has to understand this. And that's a major thing, right? If she doesn't understand what she's being rewarded for, then she doesn't know what to do next time, right? So communication is very important. So, thank you, Mecca. You can take off now. Thank you, sweetheart. You did a good job. So, alpha dog. Most people think being an alpha dog, when they hear the name, they've seen people beating their dogs, yelling at their dog cowering with their tail between their legs, and things of that sort. That is not how you become an alpha dog. Right? That is not how you become an alpha dog, right? A leader by respect. Your dog has to respect you. We want you to build up the dog. We want the dog to understand you, just like what you saw Charlie. We want the dog to understand you, and I guarantee you, if he understands you, he'll do what you ask. We want to build him up, make him a good dog. Just like you would want a good employee or a good kid. We all know the kids that as soon as the parent leaves, drops them off, that kid just goes ballistic, right? We don't want that for your dog. We want your dog to be a good dog because he wants to be a good dog the whole time. We want to know that when we leave the room, that the same rules will apply for the dog. That he'll still be the same dog and stay there in a sit or down and not bite anybody or not jump on anybody, even when you're not there. Another misconception is that you cannot teach an older dog, that you can't train an older dog, and that's not true. While it is easier to teach a puppy, right, just like you teach a kid when they're young, it's easier to teach a dog good habits rather than have to break bad habits. So the puppies have a clean slate, just like the kid. The older dogs may have some baggage that they carry around with them. You know, they may already have some bad habits, jumping on people, and things of that sort. Now, H12-11 is perfect for dealing with both of those dogs. This system works for everybody and every dog. Whether it's an aggressive dog, dogs with bad temperament, dogs that don't socialize, this is the key to H12-11. It works for everybody and every dog. It is so powerful. Every dog has a capacity to learn, just like every person has a capacity. Some people have bigger capacities. Some dogs have bigger capacities to learn. What H12-11 does is it takes your dog to the highest capacity that it is possible to learn. That's whether your dog snaps at people, whether you think your dog can't be trained, I challenge you to bring your dog in here and do this system, H12-11. It is guaranteed for every single dog and every person. It will take your dog to the highest capacity that they are and raise them up. And be able to train your dog and live happy with your dog. To be the best dog that he can possibly be. Now I want to give you a demonstration of what a green dog looks like when they first come in here for a board and train. I have a 7-month-old golden retriever, who we've had him for about 4 or 5 days, and he has some issues, some temperament things. In the beginning, he didn't really know how to socialize and stuff like that. And so we're working on that. His temperament, he's a little timid, he has no confidence, so we need to build that up. The next dog is a black lab mix, 11 months old, and she's a little bit outgoing and a little bit snappy, right? A little bit snappy and jumpy. Both different issues. Both of these dogs will bring up to the highest capacity that they possibly have. Now we're going to bring out a dog, a 7-month-old golden retriever, and then we're going to bring out the 11-month-old black lab mix and see what happens, right? I don't even know what's going to happen. We're going to see what the difference is between Charlie and a trained dog and one of these dogs. Okay, can you bring me that dog, please? Pulling on the leash. Dog pulls on the leash. Let him see what he does on the Charlie. So he wants to jump all over the dog. He wants to see. Yeah. Okay. Call him to you.
Lady, come.
What you just saw with the other dog was Nathan had to call him a couple times in order for him to come. The dog didn't necessarily want to come. And that's not usual that the dog would even come. Now, he's not a bad dog, he's just an untrained dog. By the time, nope, Sophie, come, down. Good. By the time the dog is done, your dog or the other dogs will do the exact same thing. And you will be a good parent. That is thanks to the H12-11 training system. Now we'll demonstrate with another dog the difference between a trained dog and an untrained dog. Nathan, can you bring me another dog? This dog is a black lab mix and she's 11 months. And you can see she's a firecracker, right? Has no self-control whatsoever. You see, she just wants to go all over the place. All over the place. That doesn't work out too good. So she pulls on the leash, goes where she wants to go. Doesn't really want to stay with her owner, right? Like a trained dog. Kind of rolls all over Charlie, right? At will. Wants to play, basically, is all she wants to do. She just wants to play, right? See how Charlie stays in position. Good boy, good. And even though he's trained, and so does Sophie, by the way, right? Sophie's looking at all this going on, right? And this is what H12-11 can do for you and your dog, right? And this one here, she's a little nippy. She's a little nippy, and that's one of the problems that we're solving. And she's a little bit jumpy. Let's see if she'll jump on Nathan. Nathan, can you pull her back towards you? Let me see if she'll. So see how nippy she is, right? See, she wants to play. So try to come. Heel, down. Good boy. So it doesn't matter if there's dogs around jumping or wanting to play. Charlie still will listen, right? And so does Sophie. Come here, Sophie. Come on. Down. No. Good girl. Good. Thank you. Good. Now, can I take your pearls off of Sophie, please? Not now. Leave her. Leave her. Leave her. She was trying to make her look pretty. Down. Good. Good girl. So. That's our training system, H12-11. It can work for you and your dog. Please give us a call. I'm James Taylor. Our phone number is 510-714-6641. We'll see you next week, and we'll talk more. We'll talk more into the H12-11 checklist, and we'll go more of what it is. So we'll see you next week. Thank you. Have a good day.